Hey everybody, it's Eduardo, and today I'm going to share with you the 4 most likely reasons why you're losing followers on Instagram. So before we begin, I wanted to let you know that my intention by making this video is to share information that would hopefully bring insight into a situation that many small business owners and many people find incredibly confusing and frustrating. If you're losing followers on Instagram, you're not doing anything wrong. It's important to remember that how well your Instagram does, how many followers you get, how many products you sell on Instagram, says nothing about the true inherent value of what you do. The truth is that Instagram is a system that only knows how to value a very small number of colors in the rainbow, okay? So now that we've acknowledged that, let's begin. So if your Instagram account recently started to lose followers, or if you've been losing followers for a couple years now, please know that you're not alone. It's happening to more and more people on Instagram. The number one question I received recently from the readers of my articles is, please help me, I'm starting to lose followers, I don't know why, what can I do? Not only that, but it's happened to me too. Some of my accounts, like Macrame Makers, have been growing since the time that I started. Other accounts, like Pottery for All, had been growing really fast, then they started to lose followers, then they started growing fast again. Other accounts, like Pinlord, had been very successful for a very long time, but over the past year and a half, it's been steadily losing followers. I've worked with brands and small businesses that it has happened to as well. And from my experience with all of this, I've noticed that there tends to be 4 main reasons why Instagram accounts start losing followers. Here's what they are. So the first, but not necessarily the most likely reason why you're losing followers on Instagram, is that your account has been shadow banned. So it's natural to assume that your account might have been shadow banned if you're starting to lose followers on Instagram. But for the majority of people, that's not going to be the case. A permanent shadow ban on Instagram, meaning a shadow ban where you begin to lose followers and continue to lose followers despite changing your hashtag strategy or the content you post, only happens when your content or your account have been reported and shadow banned. And the way you can tell if your account has been permanently shadow banned is by the way it's losing followers. If your account has been losing followers in a very slow, gradual way over time, you're likely not shadow banned. If your account went from gaining a lot of followers to the next day losing followers sharply and continuing to lose followers, you might be shadow banned. This is how it would look. So this is how you can check if your account has been permanently shadow banned. This is an example from one of my accounts, Pottery for All, that was permanently shadow banned until I was able to get the shadow ban removed. So you go from consistently gaining followers, as you can see here, to sharply losing followers once your account is reported and permanently shadow banned. As you can tell here, I was gaining followers, my account was reported, and I was shadow banned. I sharply started losing followers and continued to lose followers permanently no matter what I did. If you notice a clear and sharp decline to losing followers from one day to the next, you're likely permanently shadow banned. If your decline in followers was slow and gradual over time, it's likely something else. So if after checking the way that your account started losing followers, you think that your account is likely to be permanently shadow banned, the only way that you can remove a permanent shadow ban is through contacting Instagram's customer support team and challenging the report that was placed on your account. I'm going to include an article in the description of this video that'll detail exactly how I was able to contact them and remove a permanent shadow ban from one of my accounts, but please know that it's a very frustrating process. Facebook and Instagram make it very, very, very hard for their users and their community to contact their customer support. Also, a piece of advice, if you see any people out there claiming to be able to guarantee removing a shadow ban from one of your accounts, I would be very wary of that. The reality is that only a very, very small number of people that work for Instagram know exactly how shadow bans are placed and how they can be removed. So anyone that doesn't work for Instagram that is claiming this, I would be doubtful of. Now, if your account isn't likely to be shadow banned and you started to lose followers in a very slow and gradual way, there's likely another reason why you're losing followers. And the second reason is that you've inorganically gained followers in the past. So another reason why you might be losing Instagram followers is because you've inorganically gained followers in the past. By inorganically, I mean maybe buying followers or using Instagram bots, or even things like being part of a lot of giveaways that required people to follow you, or also even just paying for a lot of Instagram ads or sponsored posts. Those followers that you gained weren't necessarily the most passionate about your content. So, more likely than not, a lot of them are unfollowing you now. Or, if they were fake accounts, they're being deleted by Instagram. And now, given the reality that it's much harder to grow on Instagram, if you're not gaining more new followers than the ones that you're losing, you're likely slowly losing followers. Now, if you think that's your case, here's how you fix it. So this is why gaining followers inorganically causes you to lose followers. So imagine this circle is all your followers, right? You have a group of people in that audience, who is your core audience, that followed you because they are passionate about your content, sincerely. And then this outer circle represents your inorganic followers. They followed you for other reasons that aren't because they're passionate about your content. And over time, that group of people will unfollow you. The more inorganic audience you have, the more followers you lose until you are left only with your core audience. Now, how do you solve for this? Well, the truth is there aren't many solutions. The two solutions are, first, you can shed all of these inorganic followers at a faster pace, meaning you want to get rid of them more quickly until you're left only with your core audience. Or two, you can pivot your niche or your content to find new audiences and grow new followers at a faster pace than the ones that you're losing. We're going to touch on these solutions later in the video, so let me show you how you can shed all of your inorganic followers at a faster pace by getting them to unfollow you by hand. So to get rid of your inorganic followers, you go to your followers and you want to find the ones that are most likely inorganic. An easy way to do that is to find those that don't have a profile photo. For example, this one. You tap on them, you go through the three dots over here, and then you go remove follower. And that's it. Your follower has been removed. Keep in mind, doing this by hand will take a lot of time. So my recommendation is to focus instead on the other solutions that we'll talk about later in this video. Okay, so if you checked and you're not likely to be permanently shadow banned and you haven't inorganically gained Instagram followers in the past, the next most likely reason why you're losing followers is that your Instagram niche is already too saturated. So if you're in an Instagram niche that's already very popular and there's already a lot of other accounts on Instagram creating similar content to the one that you're creating, you're likely in a niche that's already too saturated, and that's the reason why you're losing followers. Most Instagram accounts belong to a niche, and all niches have 4 phases to them. You can check out my video about Instagram niches to get the full detail, but in summary, niches are introduced, they grow rapidly, they mature, and they decline. If you're in a niche that's in the maturity phase or in the decline phase, and you're not one of the most popular accounts in that niche, you're likely going to be losing followers. And the reason for that is, when a niche becomes popular, a lot of people go into the niche, start following a lot of accounts at that niche, but over time, as the niche matures or declines, people start becoming less and less interested in the topic, and therefore start unfollowing a lot of accounts that they once followed in that niche. If you think that this might be the case for you and your niche, here's a good way to check if that's the case and how you can fix it. I wanted to quickly run you through the characteristics of a niche that's already too saturated, as well as a quick example. So in a niche that's already too saturated, a lot of content creators are offering very similar content and products. Also, the popularity of the niche's topic has declined since its peak, and content consumers are leaving the niche and unfollowing creators. And what happens is, when there's the same amount of content creators, but less people interested in that content, most accounts in the niche are going to begin losing followers, even the most popular ones. So this is an example of what happened to one of my accounts, Pinlord, in the niche of enamel pins. This is a graph of how my account has grown since 2018. As you can tell, in the beginning of 2018, the niche was still growing. Around the middle of the year, it plateaued, And because of that, I began doing Instagram ads to try and grow my account. It did grow quickly, but then I stopped doing ads and it's been losing Instagram followers since then. I did a quick giveaway here that got me a lot of followers, but that did nothing because it continued losing followers. So, as you can tell, even the most popular account in the niche of enamel pins is losing followers once the niche is already too saturated. So how do you check if your niche is too saturated? Well, the most simple and effective way to do that is identify the most popular 3 to 5 accounts in your niche. Your niche will have a few accounts that are the most popular in it. Identify those, and then take note of how many followers they have, and check again how many followers they have in a month. If most of them are losing followers, then your niche is too saturated. A solution for that, sadly, there's nothing you can do about the saturation of your niche. You can't, by yourself, change how popular the topic of the niche is and how many content creators enter it. So what you need to do is to slowly pivot your content into a related sub-niche that isn't saturated and is about a topic that you're sincerely passionate about. To go in detail about this process would take a long time, and I did that in one of my other videos about how to find the most valuable niches for you, and I'll include that in the description of the video so you can see a clear example of how you can pick a new sub-niche and pivot into it. Alrighty, so if you think that your account isn't shadow banned, if you haven't inorganically gained followers, and if your niche isn't too saturated yet, the last and most likely reason why you're losing followers is that your audience's tastes have changed, but your account hasn't. This is another of the more likely reasons that a lot of accounts are losing followers on Instagram. Think about it. At some point, all of us have gotten really excited about an account on Instagram and we follow them, right? But over time, our interests change, or we just get bored with the content, or we find other accounts that we think offer similar, better content, and we unfollow those accounts. The longer Instagram has been around, the more likely it is that a lot of people's audiences are going through that similar process, because over time, people's interests just change. And given the fact that over time, it's also gotten harder and harder for accounts to grow on Instagram, if, in your case, you're not able to grow new followers at a faster pace, that your old followers are getting disinterested in your content and unfollowing you, you're likely going to be slowly losing followers over time. Now, here's a good way to check if that's the case for you, and if it is, how to fix it. So how you can tell if you're losing followers because your audience is losing interest in your content is by checking your follower breakdown in your Instagram insights. If you're not permanently shadow banned, you didn't grow inorganically, and you aren't in a saturated niche, but your follower breakdown in your insights look like this, then your audience is losing interest in your account. What's happening is that more people are unfollowing you than the number of people that are discovering and following you. So the solution for it is that you need to find new audiences through rejuvenating your content. How do you do that? You test new content, you measure its reach, and you improve on the content that does well in order to be surfaced by the algorithm more prominently and be able to be discovered by new audiences. This is how you do it. Every week, you want to measure your content's reach. You want to evaluate what content is currently being surfaced and which one is not. Then you want to improve on the content that's being surfaced, and you want to stop doing the content that's not being surfaced. And then lastly, you want to continue testing new types of content. Let me show you how I do it. So we're back to one of my other accounts. So to measure, what I do is every month I go to my insights and I go to the content that you've shared. Here, Instagram can show me which of my posts have gotten the most reach over the past year. I want to change this to the past 30 days. Now on the screen at the top are going to be the posts that haven't gotten the most reach, meaning the posts that the algorithm has surfaced the most from my account. And at the bottom are the posts that have gotten the least amount of reach, that the algorithm has surfaced less. So what I want to do here is just grab insights from what type of content is being surfaced by the algorithm and what type of content is not being surfaced. A really quick evaluation will show me that the content that's being surfaced the most is video content, right? And the content that's being surfaced least is the posts that aren't videos, and also they tend to be images that have more simple backgrounds. So that's how I evaluate what's currently being surfaced and what's not. Once I know that, I know that I want to post more video content and improve on the one that I already have, and post less content in white backgrounds or simple backgrounds. Then I also want to test new types of content and again measure every month and do this process month by month. And over time, by doing this, I'll be able to create more and better content that surface more frequently and less content that surface less frequently. And that's it. Those are the 4 most likely reasons why you're losing followers on Instagram. Honestly, I can't think of other reasons. So if you have other reasons, please leave it in the comment on this video because I want to learn about them. My advice is to just be super patient with the process. Instagram is likely going to get only more and more competitive over time, and more people are going to go through the situation where they're going to be losing followers. So if you want to change the way your audience is growing, you're just going to have to spend likely a lot of time and a lot of effort on it. So just be patient with yourself in the process. Also, it might be the case that you won't be able to stop losing followers. And if that's the case, it's important to remember that however your Instagram does really says nothing about the true quality of your work and what you do. And it's important to remember that. So I hope you find this video valuable. And if you did, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I always love learning about your accounts and what you want me to make more videos about in the future. I really enjoy making these for you. It's a privilege for me, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Bye-bye.